Hello, welcome to learning how to use the query tool. In this session, we're going to demonstrate how to actually take a Word document, and in our sample here, we're actually going to use a real enrollment agreement sample from a accrediting website. And we're going to take that document, it's a two-page document, and just show you how you would merge that into STARS data. So first thing I'm going to do is go into the query tool by hitting queries. And I'm going to add a new query, and I'm going to call it, we'll call it enroll, we'll say merge. There we go, MERG. That's as many characters as I'm allowed, and I'll just put a description, enrollment form merge. And I'm going to select a special query type. Instead of a regular query, it's going to be an MS Word merge query. Now, if I have other documents up there, I can use those, but I'm going to choose a file from my computer, and it happens to be in my downloads file, and it'll take a second here because I have so many download files, so it takes about a minute for it to sort through. Not quite a minute, a few seconds. And it should be coming here any second. This is the longest thing, and this is a Microsoft issue with sorting. There we go. So I have a lot of stuff out here, but I'm going to go for this enrollment agreement doc. I'm going to open it. And so basically I'm telling the system, upload this document and just add it, just like I was doing a new query. Now they ask me which file I want to use for the query. I'm going to select the student master file. That's what I'm going to use for the query. So really, that's all I need at this point. I'm going to hit next. And since I selected the student master file, it's going to say, which fields do you want? Well, for this query, I need several different things. I need the student's name, and I need to have their full name. If we look at the Word document itself, let me open that. You'll see how we created this document. Here is a Word document. I'm going to make it wider so you can see it. Page width. Basically, anything you see a $ and a field name with squiggly brackets around it, that's what is going to look for in a query to merge with the document. So this is my sample enrollment agreement. Really it's just legalese on the back, and on the front there's the agreement. So I need to get these fields into this agreement. So it's just student name. It's not first name, it's not last name. I could do that if I wanted to, but I'm going to show you how to actually create a work field for student name. We'll do address. What else do we have here? Oh, we're going to put the entire address together, so I'll show you how to do that too. So we're not going to pull that out. And then we're going to do program. Now we could join another file and find a program name. And program hours, we can get that from another file. Birth date, we have birth date. And birth date is in the student file. There it is right there. I'll select that as a first field. Birth date, estimated grad date is in the student file. That's called the qualified date. So we use that as the grad date. And phone number, we need a phone number. I thought I saw a phone number here. And it really doesn't matter what order these are in. You can select them pretty much in any order, but I'm just going to put a 5 there. It'll renumber these. So I have birth date, phone, estimated grad date I have. And these items I'm going to pull. Start date, I need a start date. That's in here somewhere. Student start date, there it is. Put a 6. And then we have, yeah, so that's everything I can work with right now from that file. So I'm going to go back. I'm using Alt-Tab, your Windows functions, to switch back and forth. I'm going to update that. So right now, those are my fields I have. I have student phone number, start date, birth date, and qualified date. Now, I have to create the name and the address, and I have to get the program information. So first, I'm going to get the program information. I close this down, and I go to Select Files. Remember, we just selected one file, the student master file. I'm going to select the next file, which is the course master file, where all the programs are in. I'm going to do what's called a left outer join. That means I'm expecting to find one answer from this join. And to create the join, I'm going to join on the department and the course number, which will pull the program in. So I'm saying I can just copy and paste these. Department number equals, and then I'm going to find, and actually I have a lot of these pre-created, so as I do them, a lot of times they'll come up automatically. Like if I look at my student master file, the department is AJAECD. So if I start typing AJAECD because I'm using Google Chrome, it already has my relationship stored in there. So I'm going to use that one. That means AJAECD is equal to AFAECD in the one file and the ENB. So ECD is actually the department code, ENB is the program, and AJA is the student file, and AFA is the course file. So saying, you know, where in the course, where in the student, the department is this, and in the course file it's that, and in the student file it's this, and the course file is that. That's the joining I want to do. So by doing that, I have this file, which is the course master file, joined with the master file, student master file. So when I go into next here again, now my fields, not only do I have the fields from the master file SM05, but I can pull in two pieces of information I need for my query, the program and the program hours. So if I look here, the program is actually the course name here. Let's put a 55 there, I don't care what it is, and the available hours right there, 56. Hit enter, and it'll renumber all these for me. So now I have student phone, start date, birthday, qualified date, name, and course. Now the only other thing I have to do now, I'm going to close that, is create the student name and address all in one field. Actually that phone shouldn't even be there, but we'll get rid of that. So I need to create those fields. I'm going to do a calculated field. So I'm going to add a calculated field. I want to create the student name, student, and I might as well do it just the way it's shown here because I don't want to do any extra work. It's student name. So I'll do student name, and this is going to be data type is alpha. It's alphabetic, not numeric. And I'm going to allow maybe about, we'll say 40 characters for that. And again, I can just say student name as a column heading. And now I have to do is create that one field student name, and stars are separated, first name and last name. The reason we do that is so you can do a lot of manipulation with it. But right now we just need the first name and the last name. So a lot of times when I'm looking through these fields, I can't find them. I hit a Control F in your browser window. You can start typing like last. There it is. I'm right there. I'm at student last name. Or I could type first and I could find the first name. Yeah, how easy that is. There's the last name, there's the first name. So I'm going to start with the first name. I'm just going to copy the field name. Go back up to the top here. I'm going to take the first name, but I don't want just the first name because the first name is actually a 40-character field by itself. It's going to be a lot of trailing blanks. So I can use a function called trim. I can trim the first name, and then we use this double vertical bars, that's above the slash on your keyboard, which means concatenate. That means join together. So I'm going to take the first name. I want to put a space in between, so I just put it in a single quote. So I just put a space, and then join together with the trim. Again, I want to trim, and I want to use the last name, which I happen to know because I know this database. It's PTX instead of QTX, so that's the last name. So I'm taking the trim of the first name, concatenating it together with the trim of the last name, and I'm putting a space in between. I add that, and I'm going to go back to my query tool, and where it says sequence fields, there'll be a new field there now, which is a work field, and it's called student name. So I'm just going to include that in the query. And I just want to run it right now, just see what it does, because I'm curious. And it's going to list a bunch of students, a bunch of information, and there's their names. See how their student name is made Uncle Fester, Robert Amell. Yeah, So that did that join very quickly for me and join those names together. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to create another work field for the address, and it's going to be a similar type function. In this case, I'm going to call it, I called it in my merge here, address, so I'm going to do the same thing, address. This is a description, it's alpha, and it's going to be address. I'll allow like 40 for that too. It's called address. And now I'm going to take the trim of, well, first thing I need is the address, which again, I could search for it if I want to. I could say address. I'm just going to use address 1. There it is. Okay, trim address 1. And I'm going to concatenate with that the trim of city, right? And that's all I'll do for this. Just do the address and a city, and I can't find it again. I just search for it. There it is. Student city. Control F. Find. Really powerful tool. That's the nice thing about being in a browser, is we can search for things very easily. So that's it. And I need to put something between that, so I'll put maybe the street, and I'll insert a maybe in quotes. And the reason we use quotes is because it is and single quotes is because it is a literal data. I want it to literally appear. And I'll leave a space before and after that dash. So there I'll have this address in the city. Now, we have all the data we need. We have to do one more thing to match it up with this form. But I want to only select certain records. I only want to select by, let's say, start date or by cohort. But I'll do start date. So basically, I want to add a prompt field, and I want it to prompt me, and I want to prompt me start date. I was going to say start date. And then basically, this is going to be a date range. So, and I can say set as a range. So I just add that, and now when I run this, it's going to prompt me a date range. But I still have to use that in the record selection. So I go to record selection, I say the start, I find the student start date in their record here, and there it is right there. We're actually displaying it. Start date has to be between the start date range I created. Add that. I'm going to update it, and it's all good. I can close it. Now when I run this, watch what's going to happen. It's going to prompt me start date from, let's try 01/01/2014 to 12/31/2015. So that's like a 2-year. It's my test school, and I'll have a lot of starts. But here they are. Here's a whole bunch of people that are going to be starting. Now, unfortunately, not all their data is in there. A lot of data is in there, but not everything. So what I can do at this point, I still can print this out. It'll fill in where it can. If you look at the dates, again, like the start date and the birth date, they're reversed. And the qualified date, because that's the way it is internally to stars. And when you do a query, it gives you the internal data it finds. The phone numbers, no dashes or anything. So I'm going to fix all this up right now. I'm going to go into column formatting. And the phone number, first of all, I want the phone number to have a phone edit, which will take care of it nicely. And notice what the phone's name is. The phone's name is phone. It's not the field name we want now. We want to rename it as phone. And that's all we have to do to name it for the Word document. See it? So I formatted it as a phone number, and I've marked it as phone in the merge. That's done. Start date. Start date, I want to reverse it from year, month, day, to month, / day, year. It's my start date. It's shown as the internal field name there. I want it to be start date on my form. I'm just going to call it start date, just like that. See how it remembers things too, Chrome. Birth date, same thing. We're going to say date format, and we're going to call it birth date. We have qualified date. That is actually the graduation date. So we'll say it's the estimated grad date. Estimated grad, and you can see I have it in there in Chrome. I'll just copy it right over. And again, I do want to switch that date too. All right, we took care of these items. Course name needs no editing, except in here it is called program. So I'm going to make it program as a renamed field name. So that's that. That's course name. Hours available for course is program hours. So we're going to rename that one prog hours. P-R-O-G. See, the smart Chrome, it knows it already. Change. And student name, we named those already correctly. Student name and address. So if I go in here, oh, actually we do need to rename this one. It gave it its own name. It does that. That's its internal name. So we'll make sure we change the name on that. And on address. Okay, so we've renamed everything. We've cleaned things up. Now we're going to run the query, and on the screen, what we're going to see, we'll do 010 in 2014 to 0, we'll say like 0301 2015. Okay, we'll process that. Again, here's our students, their names, the dates, and see how everything's formatted. Everything. Now, all we have to do to merge it to Word is click Merge. Look what I have, an enrollment agreement document. It's going to open up in Word. I'm going to enable editing. And I don't want to across. I want to do one page. There we go. And I want page width. There we go. All right, so now I can go through and look at these. Here's a student name. That was someone playing around. And it looks like we have an issue with our address. See how the address didn't come out? But Germany Spencer. There's the contract date. There's the program. There's the number of hours. There's a phone number. This person probably didn't have a birth date or an estimated grad date. But you can see as they have these dates, they'll fill in. There's the phone number. There. Looks like the only one that did not fill in was the address. And there's got to be a reason for that. We'll go back and fix it. But right now, there's a contract end date, there's an estimated grad date, starting 8/1, ending 12/31. So let's go back and fix this address. Got to be something wrong with that. I'm going to close this document, close my export, close my query run, and I'm going to go to column formatting. And my address is right there. And that looks correct. So it may very well be that we're kind of out of space for the address. The reason it's not filling it in. Let's try lowering that to like a 30 display space. I'm going to run a query again. Process it. And let's look at our address on the screen here. Oh, you know what? I don't see address on the screen. So we must have a trouble with our address. Let's look at our address calculated field. Did we even select it? I bet we didn't even select it for the query. Look at that. You're so smart. We did not select it. Alright, so let's put it in there. Update it. Now let's run it. 010 in 2014, 0331 2015. Now we should have address on the report. There it is. See that? Now let's merge. Download that enrollment agreement. And here it will have the entire address. And the nice thing about just doing this is you're able to see how to correct things also. None of us are perfect and we make mistakes, so that's just the idea of getting them fixed. Here's a better address right here. 1212 South Street, Harrisburg. 123 Apple Orchid Lane, Lancaster. Now I shortened it to 30, but you want to make it as big as the room you have. If I was doing an address on this form, I'd probably have this whole line and move the phone down. But that's basically exactly the way it is in the database. And any formatting you put in your Word document, like bold, will come through. Any font you use in your format for that replacement field will come through into your form. Well, that's it. That's how you do mail merge within Star's query tool, the i4 reporter. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day.